Beneath the steep cliffs of a coast few maps bothered to mark, there stood a small inn called the Gull's Rest. Travelers rarely found it unless they were hopelessly lost, but those who did spoke of its warmth, the smell of salt and cedar, and the ever-present sound of waves battering the rocks below. The innkeeper, Myra, was a woman of few words, her hair silver before its time and her eyes always drifting to the sea. Locals whispered that she had once been a sailor, though none could say from which ship. She never corrected them, never confirmed. She only smiled when pressed and went back to polishing the brass lanterns that hung along the walls. One stormy night, a drenched traveler stumbled in. He was young, his clothes torn, his gaze restless as if he'd been running for days. Myra offered him soup and a place by the fire, but he refused to sit until he asked her a question. "Do you know of the ship Vanguard?" he whispered, voice trembling. The room fell quiet. Myra's hand stilled on the lantern she was polishing. After a long pause, she said, "She went down 20 years ago, just of these cliffs. No survivors." The traveler shook his head. "Not true. My grandfather was her captain, and he left something behind." From his coat, he pulled a brass compass, its glass cracked, its needle quivering in strange circles. Myra's breath caught. She reached for the compass, but stopped herself. "That should have sunk with the rest," she murmured. "Why bring it here?" "Because it points," the traveler said, his voice breaking. "Not north, but somewhere out there." He gestured to the dark sea, where lightning flashed like veins of fire. For the first time in years, Myra's eyes held something other than weariness, fear, or perhaps recognition. She led him to the inn's back door, where the wind howled and the spray stuck out on the waves, beyond the reach of land. A faint glow pulsed beneath the water like a heartbeat. The compass needle spun wildly, then stilled, pointing straight at the light. Myra whispered, "So it begins again." The traveler turned to her, confused, but she only pressed the compass back into his hand. "If you follow it, you'll find what your grandfather sought. But know this: some wrecks sink for a reason." And with that, she shut the door, leaving him alone with the storm, the sea, and the compass that refused to point anywhere safe.